Hey guys, so I'm just gonna finish tonight a little bit, just some programming. I'm going to work on my rewrite for YATERM, and actually, I'm pretty proud of it. Last time I left you, I was stuck on like some really weird problems, but they seem to be gone now. Let me show you what I got so far. Um, So here I have my main terminal part, and I hit Control O for the options, and I can do S to send a file. I don't have the file sending yet done, but you know, I can exit the menu and go back to the main terminal, or I can do Q to quit the terminal. And let me show you the code here. So this is the old terminal over here, and it's 403 lines, 42 lines. And a lot of this is hard-coded menus. It's pretty spaghetti-y. There's a lot of jumps. There's not a lot of calls. A lot of jumps in the main code. So like, it's linear. It's very spaghetti-y. It's not very modular, which is a pain. And however, the comments are really good. I have a comment on every single line to show you exactly what each line does. It's not very efficient, so I didn't do that in the current one, in the new one. Instead, I will show you what I did there. So I will show you. So basically, I have a bunch of defines, 66 lines of defines with some comments. I'm actually gonna add in a few more tonight. Help us out. And basically, I have it set up so that if you want to use my program, instead of having to like, you know, figure out how to make things work or whatever, this is what you have to change. Basically, if you're running a Zilog processor instead of an 8080, change this to true. Right now, it does nothing, but in the future, I think I might have like some Z80 assembly in there just to make things faster, if that comes to it. Change your TTY base and your CRT base, and you should be good to go. CPM is a funky thing. Even though you have access to STD out and STD in, and technically print out and print in, which is used for a serial port, you can't really use any BDOS calls to do a terminal, like a pure terminal, like pure BDOS calls for a terminal. You have to do hardware access, which is a pain in porting software, but nature of the beast. Then I separated out the defines a little bit, added some comments to make them a little better. I added an EOL, the end of line character, because maybe you want to use a different end of line character. Maybe you have patched CPM for something better, not a freaking $sign. The buffer is a lot smaller for the input, which is going to be good, but you know, I don't need that too much. The keys are here. I don't have a lot of these implemented. You'll see. Menu X, menu Y. This is going to be basically where I place the menu X and Y on the screen. That'll be later on. And then this is the characters to draw the screen, because I have the screen drawing procedural. I'll show you what I have. So for the code, so first I set up my local stack as normal. Okay. The local stack is, in this program, it is 128 bytes deep, which is kind of deeper than you'd ever need it to be. That's what she said. Which is 64 words, so 64 addresses deep. I'm not planning on using like a jump table or anything like that in this code, so it should just be more than fine. Probably I could get it with 16 words instead. I still copy the program arguments to the arg buffer. As you can see down here, it's all much more organized. I have heap start and heap end, just in case I want to add in malloc and free when I figure out how to do that. I do have a section I've also broken everything up into functions instead of just random jumps, so it's a whole lot easier to write code. I have my setup, I have my main program, I have my exit, and my main menu. I should separate this out. So this is going to be YATERM. Cool. So this draws menus. This parses menus. So basically, this will take in your width and height and render your menu. I'll show you that later. It's quite a hefty function, but I'll show you that later. Get dimension, guess the dimension of the menu, and calc width, guess the width of the menu. I'll show you that later. Menu parse just parses the menu. So he says menu parse, main menu parse. And right now I'm working on send file. We're gonna work on that tonight for a little bit before I head off to bed. IO routines. This is what I'm really proud of. It gets the IO, then instead of jumping, like in the old code, where I have jump to TTY, jump to CRT, jump back to the loop, this is all called, so it goes down the stack and it can all return, which is really nice. So it's modular, so I can call TTY. If I want to grab an IO byte, I just call TTY in. If I want to call it CRT in, I just call the CRT. It's really awesome. Instead of having to jump to and then remember my address, and it's a pain in the ass. State machine check. Well, what is that? Well, that's because YATERM is now a state machine. And I have 3 states right now. I have state 0. This is like a case table. I have state 0. I have state 1. And I have state 2. State 0 is the normal state. You're getting IO bytes in from your keyboard and then into your device at the same time. That's the normal state. State 1 is your main menu. You hit Control O and you go to state 1 and you go to the main menu routine, or you call the main menu routine. State 2 is quit. You have quit. You have exited everything, and basically now you need to load the old stack pointer and exit out. So these functions just change the state. If you notice, I have push PSW, it pushes the accumulator and the flags, so it saves the flags. So basically, if you're case 0 in get IO, like changes something, whatever, basically you restore it back. So because A, which CPI 0 checks against, is 0, that means this one will fail, this one will fail, which means you go back here, jump to the main loop, and then you load the state again. In this case, you switch to the menu, so it's now 1. So this case fails, but this case succeeds, and you are now in the menu. And you go to main menu, and say you hit something, like that's not Q, S, or E, so I'm going to hit D. Well, what happens is I hit return. I go up here, and then I hit return. And I come back out here, restore my accumulator, and keep looping. And because the accumulator was 1, that means I'm still in the menu. I'm still in the menu, which is true. I still am in the menu. And then if I hit E, then I go back to the main program and hit Q is done. So it's much nicer nowadays. Send file T2IN, new line. I have some C-like routines just to make things easier. Put S, which doesn't do a new line. Get S. Get char. Put char. Which word is that? Put S. Sorry, put S. Like the print BRS function destroys B and D, which was just mind-boggling to me. So make sure you push and pop those registers. Because you have such a deep stack, you can feel free to push and pop every single register you need. I have memcopy, which is good. My strings, my menus. Now my menus I'm very proud about, because this is more of a struct than an actual menu. This is menu, it's just arranged in a struct. The first value is the number of entries you have in that menu. And then the only thing you have to do is just make sure you have everything lined up in your menu, and make sure you have your end of line character on the end of each line, and you're good to go. The menu rendering function can render any size menu you want. Just have the number of records, the number of lines, and make sure your lines match up in terms of width. That's all you gotta do. It's so sweet. I also have a debug function that I can call just to say, hey, I made it here. Which is really nice. So yeah, we are ready to move on. I think I can move these bookmarks away. So we're gonna look at S file, right? We're gonna look at send file. Draw menu, get send file. So send file text, put S, get S. Set end character. So this is what I need to do now. So I'm going to load D with the string buff. String buff is like the one input buffer I'm using. So if you look at get S, or LXID in buff A in buff stacks D to, this isn't the start of the buffer, this is actually the, okay. So this gets string length. Whatever register pair you use, just push. Yeah, that sounds right. So basically, what I just did was make it so that I set end character sets end character of string in HL to end of line char pens. So it appends the end of line character. So basically what I'm doing is right here, I get here. So I get this string. The string is, say, file.ptp, right? And it gets that string, file.ptp. But I can't print it or anything. If I want to print the file for debugging purposes or anything like that, I can't without an ending character. Now, I could fill the buffer with nothing but $signs, which is probably ideal, probably what I should do. So I don't have to deal with this, but yeah, set in charts, it's nice. And now when I hit enter, that string is now in the string buff with the $sign at the end. Call init fcb. What is init fcb? Call init fcb routine, copy, open. Init fcb. Okay, looks easy. So initializes fcb file command block space to prep for pending files. Obviously we're using H and B. So those are always good to use. So load FCB address to HL. Move A0 to A, so XRA A. Set byte set to 0. MVIC36. Call memset. I don't think I have memset. Go to C functions. So push H, push B, pop H. So cool. Call memset. So source is HL. This is in C, A, and len is in C. Okay. Okay, I have to do mem set. I do. Basically the same thing, but I gotta set the file name and file tail to file type to spaces. So plus 3. I guess the file length. XI H FCBFN. It's a file name pointer. Call memset return. And that should be it. So now the file control block is initialized. Now copy file control block. Let us find out. This is where things hit the road. So this whole block is copy file control block. I'm sure it's not like kosher. But I'm sure I could, and then the rest is opening up and then sending the file. And then we're kind of done. Actually, we're pretty close. The only thing we have to do is do the file copy. File name copy and sending the file. This is so much code. Can I not do this I'm gonna try rewriting this because this looks like absolute garbage. Okay. I wrote this like 2 or 3 years ago when I was just learning ASM, and I thought I was like, hot shit or whatever. So any unused spaces of F and FCB FT are filled with spaces. LDA string buff plus, and this time I'm gonna comment my code. If it is, then I'm going to call file type. File given. No file. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Cool. So I'm going to compare against the max name. And so it is greater than or equal to cool. So this would actually be, so if it is greater than or equal to 14, which is, or what is 13, 8 plus 3 is what, 11. Basically, if it is greater or greater than or equal to, oh my god, I'm so tired. Basically, if it's bigger than the max file name length, then it will throw an error. Ugh, okay. chkcnt. Set end char to end of line. I already did though. What did I do? Wow, this is like actual, it's not garbage, it's just redundant code. It doesn't need to be there. Basically what I'm doing in this code is I'm setting the input buffer end line character, which is kind of redundant because I already did. I load the first character with for HL, and then I load. Let's do that. Push. Let's do that, right? Push H, push D, push B. No, I can't do that. Or else this would just be a pain in the ass. Anyway. I load the first character into H. I load the first character file name into D. That's fine. Move M to A. So I'm going to see if the character is a period. If it is so, then start copying the extension. If not, compare, see if it's lowercase. If it isn't lowercase, and continue through. If it is lowercase, then AND it. But I can just remove this. You just AND it no matter what. If it's uppercase, it's uppercase. It's going to be fine. Store to D, increment H, increment D, jump back to the loop. This is more of just a break to switch. Basically, it's the same exact thing, but instead I'm going to change the CPI to end of line, which actually I can put these two together into one, and I can compare, say, is it here, or is it here, or is it this one? Because basically this period will mark whether or not it switches to the $sign, and also I need to skip over this increment H, right? I have to skip over the I have to skip over it. So could I no, I couldn't crush that. Probably not. I probably couldn't crush it. I think I had that problem before where I'm like, oh, I could put them together, but I couldn't. Let's just compile, assemble, and make sure everything's right. Call copy FCB. So this, what the hell? Basically, copy FCB, no file entered, it's return, it's just it's this problem. Do we want to continue on here? I think I should make a concerted effort here. XIH buff plus 1. No, that's stupid. H stir buff plus 2. Right. So D CB FN. Cool, right? File name loop. Move A to M. Grab stir buff char. Compare if it's a period. Right. CPI. I don't need that, right? And I run 1 2 1 1 1 1 B 4 1 2 3 4. Yeah, bro, I want to keep listening. What are you talking about? Root to uppercase. Stacks D. Store to CB FM. Increment H. And then tab extension. So the problem with this is I have to have a file name extension, or else it's gonna crash. I'll worry about that later. If you don't convert to uppercase, you'll try to read a lowercase file, and they can't exist, but you can't open them. Okay, so I have added the copy file control block. I'll work on this logic later on. I'm getting pretty tired here. Basically, I need logic to figure out whether or not you entered a correct name, and if you did, continue to open and then send. If you didn't, I want to break out of this send file thing and go back to the menu so you can do things again. And that's where I'll leave you. And after we finish that, we just have to do the opening file and then sending file, and we're going to be back at original functionality. I would like to add things like receiving files from your serial device, and maybe even X modem, which would be really awesome. But actually, what I'd really like to do is I'd like to be able to change these numbers, the character delay and line delay, and once that's done, it's like a real interactive terminal where you can like change settings in it, and then maybe I'll add an X modem and receiving files. And I will leave it right there, and I will